Hi guys, and welcome back to Christian Cast, where I build baits so you don't have to. Today we are going to focus on a lure blank that you all know already. As I was saying in the video of last week, if you want to check that out, you can pop up here or there. And we made one of a adapted versions of the micro lure that I was working on. And now we are actually going to fine tune on creating our split bait, just like this one. I actually made some underwater footage and footage of how the action is of this lure itself. I'll blend that in at the end of the video that you guys can check it out and see actually how it works. So we won't be doing a sync test today at the end of the video. I'll actually just put in the video of the action of the lure. So I'm really excited about this lure because it's one of the first lures that I really say, okay, this one really runs well. And I'm quite happy with the action. We're still going to fine tune some things also in the model, but we'll just see how it progresses. And we're just going to do a cool paint scheme today. I'm going to be working with some new colors. It's going to be some pearl white as groundation. And for everybody who wants to see the action already, I actually made a reel to it that you can check out here or there. But I would stick around for this bait build because I'm really looking forwards, and it's going to be quite cool and quite a easy paint scheme if you want to make it yourself. So I'll pop you guys on the desk and we'll straight away get started. So as you can see, we are at our desk and I already put in the color. I don't know if you guys can pick up of it. It's a pearly white and it really looks cool. So I am going to ground our bait in the first step with this color. So it doesn't look like a lot of a change on the camera, but I actually really like the look of it. And we'll set this part off to dry and I'll straight away start with the head. So as you can see, we have got a nice first layer on, and we are actually going to darken down the belly, or maybe we'll actually even lighten it a bit with maybe some yellow. I'm not too sure yet, because we want to cover up that spot, or I'll actually go over with some normal white because that works quite well, and then we'll see that in the next step. As you can see, I now filled in some white color. I didn't really clean the airbrush before, just sprayed it empty because there wasn't a lot of color in anymore, and now we don't care too much, and we're just gonna go and spray the belly with some normal white, just like that, and get a little bit of overspray towards the top, just like that. So we've got our first part. Now just head over to the tail, just like that. And now we'll start and add some color in the next step. The first color of today is going to be some silver, and we'll just be going over the top, just like that, and also along the sides. So one doesn't see too much yet, but I'm hoping that once I then do the scales, they don't appear on that line anymore, because I'm going to be doing the scales with the same color, and then we will just make a color transition from blues and maybe add a little flash of purple, and also use a stencil today. So that's pretty much done. And the next step is going to actually be, we'll be taking a fluorescent blue and going down to the middle of the bait. So for the next step, I am actually still using these old colors that I ordered. They are quite thick in comparison with these colors, so I still have to get used to this a little bit, because through them being so thin, it is easy that you make like it creates lines once you airbrush, and you just really have to be careful, and it sprays quite a lot, and you don't need too much color because it really covers well. So it's always a little bit of a transition to the other colors, but now we're just going to go over the top again. We won't care too much that we get stitch coverage, we just want that we get a transition in the later steps. So pretty much I'll be going maybe a little bit more down. So that is the head. I'll quickly just measure pretty much where we are about. So I'm quite happy with that. I still have to color this side. There we go. So I will set this off and then we'll carry on with the next color. So the next color is going to be something a little bit stronger. It's a blue-green mix, and we are just going to go ahead and darken down again from the top, just like that, and then we will actually just do a little line like that. So now we're going to do the same for the tail. Just like that. So we got a nice transition from blues, and the next thing we're going to do is actually just darken down the top with some metallic blue to bring in a little bit of a shine, and also take a metallic purple and go along the lateral line and just make one smaller line, and then we will be ready for our stencils. We've added our metallic purple. I'm going to do that step first, because when we are doing the head and we actually create the lateral line, I'm going to go from here over to the back, and with the last step of the metallic blue we actually cover the rest of the top and any overspray that we actually create in this step. So it doesn't look like too much, and it blends in quite a lot. So there we go. Head is done, and now I just do the tail. Just like that. So I am happy with that, and now I'll get changed up and add the metallic blue. So the last color before doing the stencils is going to be our metallic blue, and we're just going to darken down the top and give it a little bit of a shine we're not even going to go too hard on it. We just want to create a little bit of a shimmer. So that is pretty much what we are looking for. Now I'll get everything ready for the stencils. We actually glued down just a little part of the actual stencils that we used to use for the one video. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll pop it up here or there and you can check that out. That was the first time I actually created these 3D printed stencils, and I'm still want to try quite a lot of them because I've got a lot of ideas and I want to make them a bit thinner that they aren't as sturdy when I put them on the lure. So we're going to try and do that again in a moment, and I'll get you guys back straight away. So the last step before doing the scales is actually going to be using the stencil and creating a little bit of a pattern. So we are going to just have to be very gentle. That is the first side. So we'll let that one dry. We'll take our second piece. So now I'll flip those over still, and then once that's done, we'll actually be finished. So let's start with the next side. That is the second part. And now we'll let this dry, and then we'll come back and do the scales. As you can see, I prepared everything for the scale pattern itself. I am going to try something different today. We are actually going to start with a very dark silver and be very light from the sides, and then we're going to go and turn the lure a little bit and hit it with a lighter silver, and we're going to see how that changes the scale pattern itself. So we are back now with our silver, and I lined the baits up already as I want them. We'll just put these colors to the side and we'll start spraying. So the bait is finished, and I'll get you guys back once I do the scale reveal. Now everything should be semi-dry, and we'll reveal how the scales turned out. So if it would focus. Why is it not focusing? Don't know it. There we go. So I think that will really look quite cool under the UV coat. Let's see how the head turned out. So the scales are quite cool, and I think it will look quite good under the UV coat. You can really play around a lot with going over dark first, because if you then change the angles, you actually change the way the airbrush works. So you can always keep that in mind and use that for your advantage. So because we're doing the blue theme today, we are going to put in some blue eyes into this bait. So that is how it looks for now, and now we'll get the clear coat going, and then I'll see you guys for a outro. So we are going to start with the tail part today, because I still let the eyes glue in a little bit. Now we're just going to go over to the head, and I'll just show you a short little glimpse of how these scales will look under the UV resin, and then I'll set this off to harden, and we'll see each other in the outro. So welcome back to the outro, and we are finished with yet another build. It looks like this. You most probably saw it already in the thumbnail. I am really enjoying this build. It works quite well. It's a bit finicky with the joint. I still haven't tried the other joint mechanism. I have to do that still. And for everybody who stuck around until now, I'm going to blend in quickly the actual footage of where I put the bait underwater and drag it a little bit. I've got some footage, I think, from the top and also from the bottom, where you actually see how the tail action works. So I'll blend that in right now, and we'll see each other soon. So, as you guys saw, the action is actually quite cool. I really enjoy how the tail actually works. I'm still going to play around a little bit to get it a bit refined, I would say, and work a little bit more that also in stronger currents through weighting it differently, that we've still got a stable bait, because I want to use it in river fishing mainly, and I find that the action itself is best at the moment now in calmer water, although actually the footage is in a small side arm of a river, and it still works quite well. So we're pretty much there where we want to be for the fishing season when it starts, and now we're just going to see that we get as many as possible out in different colors, and then we'll take them out and see which one actually catches the best, and maybe we'll be able to land a new personal best this season. So we'll see how that goes. The season is starting in, I think, 1.5 weeks. I'm really excited, and I just wanted to say thanks again for joining and tuning in to my video and going along with this whole process and the journey we are on over the cold months. And for everybody who's new here, if you have any questions or are interested in anything, drop them in the comments and I'll get to you as soon as possible. So I wish you guys a great one, and we'll see each other for the next bait build. Cheers!